What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about another topic with YouTube because this is kind of a first as well, because YouTube is stepping in once again with copyright, and they're kind of stepping in and they're going after an alleged copyright troll using the Digital Millennium Copyright Act's provisions, and they're actually suing somebody using these provisions based on actions that they took that really kind of breach not only, I would say, privacy laws, but also I would say are definitely also felonies. So, you know, these are some good things coming out of YouTube as well, but this is also a story that I have some personal insight to because I actually know one of the YouTubers who was affected by this whole thing. I'm actually friends with him, and it's kind of weird because when this whole thing was going on, I kind of saw this from a weird perspective, and now that this is like all in the news and everything, and I kind of know what's going on and I knew about it beforehand, it's just odd kind of looking at it from this perspective now, but I'm going to try and remain as objective as I can throughout this entire thing and look at it from a perspective as if like I didn't really know exactly what was going on beforehand. I don't want to, you know, look at it from a perspective and be, you know, unfair about it because I don't think that that's right. So YouTube has basically jumped in defense of these people after everything that's gone on, and I think that that's a good move on YouTube's part because they're actually, you know, following through with a few more steps of defending their creators when it comes to the copyright process, and they're suing a copyright troll. Now, if you guys didn't know, there's actually people who troll with copyright issues on YouTube, and it's actually something that's quite severe on the platform. So on YouTube, obviously, copyright has been a problem for a while, and you can get these things called copyright strikes where someone can strike your videos. Now, the problem is that these can be weaponized in a very weird way. So somebody, let's say, who doesn't like you can weaponize these by striking your videos and crippling your channel, almost getting it deleted or just outright terminated. So if you get like one strike, I think you like just lose some of the functions of your channel, like you're not allowed to like live stream, you're not allowed to do some of the minor monetizations of your channel and things like that, like super chats, weird things like that. But if you get like a second strike, you can't upload for like a month or something, which obviously is a very major blow to most channels. But if you get your third strike, they pretty much will just straight up terminate your channel. Something like that. I don't know. I've never been to strike 3 on the copyright strike system. I don't think I've ever been to strike 1. Maybe I have. Maybe I have on this. I think I've been to strike 1 once. Well, anyways, basically, to make a long story short before we get into the full details of this, there was a copyright troll who was targeting channels with this system, and he was copyright striking their videos, and he was extorting them out of money when he was, like, getting in beef with these people, basically to keep their channels up. And, you know, they either had to pay him or they would, you know, lose their channels or whatever the situation may be. And given that YouTube, you know, their copyright system isn't necessarily the greatest, and, well, especially at this time, wasn't even close to being something recognizable, you know, you had pretty much no chance of fighting these things. So, taking a look here, the lawsuit first spotted by Adweek reporter Shoshana Wadinsky alleges that Brady sent multiple complaints claiming that a couple of Minecraft gaming YouTubers, Kenzo and Obby Raids, infringed on his copyrighted material in January. Their legal names were not listed in the lawsuit, probably because of something that we're going to see later in this story. YouTube removed the videos that Brady claimed were infringing on his copyrighted material, as the company does whenever a claim is submitted. Obby Raids was sent a message from Brady, according to the lawsuit, that stated if the YouTuber did not pay Brady $150 via PayPal or $75 in Bitcoin, he would issue a third copyright strike. This was essentially going to terminate Obby Raids' channel and remove all of his videos from the platform. Kenzo was sent a similar message, but Brady requested $300 this time. Obby Raids spoke about the situation in a video, noting that he made multiple attempts to get in touch with someone at YouTube, but did not make any progress. Brady has submitted these notices as part of a scheme to harass and extort money from the users that he falsely accuses of infringement, the lawsuit reads. It wasn't until Obby Raids or Kenzo spoke about the alleged extortion on their individual YouTube channels that YouTube's team learned about the issue, according to the lawsuit. Still, the company alleges that Brady continued to go after members of the YouTube gaming community. He allegedly sent 4 copyright takedown notices to YouTube between June 29th and July 3rd, stating that YouTuber Calvin infringed on his content. Now, I know Calvin personally, and I remember when this whole thing happened. Now, Calvin was terrified because his YouTube channel was basically, like, on the verge of just being gone. Like, they were about to Thanos snap him into non-existence over something that, realistically, like, he didn't really do. And at the time, I was kind of scared for him, too, because, I mean, he was about to lose his entire channel over something stupid, you know? And he wasn't going to come back to YouTube if this happened. He wasn't going to restart or anything because he's worked all this time on this channel, and it was going to be kind of ridiculous to see, you know? Brady's extortionate and harassing activities described here may at least be in part be motivated by his failings in his Minecraft interactions, the lawsuit reads. So according to the lawsuit, maybe his entire motivation behind this thing is the fact that maybe he was failing in the Minecraft community. That's what they're alleging. I'm not 100% by this. I guess maybe he was trying to collaborate with people or something like that, and they wouldn't collaborate with him, and he just got mad about it and, like, started harassing and extorting people. Copyright claim abuse, often referred to as copyright striking within the YouTube community, is a big issue on the platform. Obviously, third-party companies and aggressors will often use the tactic as a means of making a statement. Sometimes creators will weaponize the ability to make a claim while feuding with another creator. That appears to be what Brady did with this whole thing. I'm not 100%, but that's at least what they're kind of making it sound like with this article, with the whole, you know, motivated by his failings and his Minecraft interactions and whatnot. But YouTube claims that they regularly terminate accounts that misuse the copyright system. A YouTube spokesperson told The Verge, in this case of particularly egregious abuse where the copyright removal process was used for extortion, we felt compelled to pursue further legal action to make it clear that we do not tolerate abuse of our platform or its users. Brady's case seems to have been unusual in a number of respects. YouTube also alleges that Brady used at least 15 online identities, all of which YouTube traced back to him in order to serve various copyright infringement claims. The time spent on his investigation has caused YouTube to expend substantial sums on its investigation in an effort to detect and halt that behavior and to ensure that its users do not suffer adverse consequences from it. As a result of Brady's actions and the methods he took to cover up his identity, YouTube may be, quote, unable to detect and prevent similar misconduct in the future. So YouTube doesn't necessarily know if they're going to be able to prevent this going forward, and honestly, I don't know how you really could, because, I mean, obviously they have to be able to enforce copyright on the platform. I understand that. Creators, we understand that, you know, like, you have to. It's YouTube. Like, you have to be able to defend copyright on the platform. Nobody's ever argued that, but at the same time, fair use has to be a thing, and people have to be protected from people who are going to abuse the platform. I mean, there's no reason why somebody should be able to get on there and just straight up abuse the platform to the point that they can delete people's YouTube channels simply because they don't like it, you know? And the craziest thing about it, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but like, when you try to like defend yourself from a claim, you have to like enter your legal information, and it gets submitted back to that person who entered the claim. So, you know, say like I entered a claim against somebody that I'm beefing with. Say me and Calvin, who I'm friends with, are beefing, right? And I put a claim up against his video just because I don't like him. If he wants to fight that claim, YouTube's system, well, of course, this is all per DMCA laws because that's what YouTube's whole system is based on. He has to, in order to fight it, he has to enter his full legal name and his address. He has to enter all that, and then it gets sent right back to the person who claimed the video. So if you're beefing with somebody, it's basically like, hey, here's my name and address. And that's gotta be terrifying, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly. But the way around that, if you're a creator, is just simply to enter a lawyer. Like, enter a lawyer's firm. Just enter a legal firm, don't put in your name and address. It's not going to help, because if you're feuding with somebody, the last thing you want to do is give out that information, because just like in Calvin's situation, apparently he was swatted like 3 days later after this whole thing happened. And I mean, the last person that you really want to know the information like that of is like some person that you're beefing with online. Like, just think about that. Like, some random stranger that you've never met before. Like, hey, let me give them my full name and address. Like, the copyright laws definitely need updating. And I can't even necessarily blame YouTube for that, because, like they say, they're just going along with what the law is. It's the law that you have to give that information over, that way that the legal process can begin. Because YouTube's system is based on a legal process. Once you dispute that claim, YouTube is pretty much out of control of that, and then it's off the platform. Like, you're supposed to begin a legal process outside of that. Once you dispute it, and they like either they're supposed to either agree with you and they release the claim, but if they reject it and then you appeal it after that, then it gets like escalated into like a legal claim and you're supposed to try and fight it in court. That's where that information is supposed to be relevant. But obviously you have these situations where people who are going to be copyright trolls on the platform can just abuse the information at their will. You're never going to have a nice situation like this, you know? And I mean, I'm sorry, there's just no way if someone's claiming my video that I'm putting my full name and home address in. I mean, I will lawyer up before I do something like that. It's not happening. But in reality, with this whole situation, it seems like at least YouTube is starting to take notice of the copyright troll issue on YouTube, and they're kind of noticing that copyright striking deliberately as like an act of aggression towards other people is actually a problem that should be taken seriously. And especially at least in this community. I didn't even know it was that big of a deal in the Minecraft community. Apparently it is. I mean, these are 3 channels here who just pretty much got smacked by this one guy, and yeah, it's pretty crazy to see. This is coming on The Verge, and it looks like a lot of people on the mainstream media even are covering this situation, so I'm gonna link all these channels down below and their videos if they've talked about it that I've seen here. You can go check out more information about this down below if you want to. Overall, I'm just glad that YouTube is kind of taking this situation seriously, and they're trying to fight on behalf of creators about it, because I would like to see this situation stopped, because overall, it's definitely not only damaging to the platform, but it's obviously damaging to these individual creators if their livelihoods are threatened in these ways, and then of course, if their private information is being forced into being given to people who are obviously there to troll them and, you know, cause harm to them anyways. So I wish you didn't have to worry about stuff like this on the internet, but unfortunately you do. I mean, it's unfortunately the way the internet is, man. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video, you guys. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel, follow me over on Twitter at SubToOptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. It's a surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Join the Discord down below, lots of great things going on down there as well. Thank you to my channel members for your $5 a month. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, getting sued by YouTube, and signing out.